Hey friends, welcome to the kitchen. We have such an exciting episode for you today. I have so many things I can't wait to share, but first, we're going to dive into our virtual mailbag, and I'm going to answer a couple of questions from viewers that I've gotten over the last couple of weeks. So hopefully everybody had a chance to see our 4th of July special episode doing our kind of elevated 4th of July table setting. I had a few people reach out asking me about the flowers and the candles on the table setting. So a couple of people reached out regarding the fact that the flowers were in metal containers and just wanted to know, is there something special that needs to be done with metal? Is there concerns? So typically the challenge with some metal containers is that they don't hold water. And the containers that I used on that table setting, in fact, don't hold water. So I didn't have a vase or a liner to go in them. So I actually grabbed a couple of highball glasses from my bar, and I put those highball glasses down into the metal containers and did the floral inside those highball glasses. The flowers in those arrangements were white spider mums and white hydrangea. And then the little shot glasses that I used to put the place cards up against had little deep red mini carnations. So those are the flowers: spider mums, hydrangeas, mini carnations. And typically with metal, you want to use some sort of a liner. So I had several people reach out about that. And then the candles were beeswax candles. I had a few people ask about the texture. They saw the texture on the candles and were wondering what that was. And the texture was because they are beeswax candles. So just wanted to respond to that. Now, what is it that I am so excited about? Do you remember the Heavenly Cream episode when I introduced the 2-ingredient dessert cream that has so many uses, so easy, so practical, yet so useful? That's how I feel about today. Today, we are going to be doing a DIY tortilla pizza party. Just imagine a delicious, crispy pizza with a simple tortilla base. Let's get started. Okay, so why do I love this so much? First of all, this is the kind of food and the kind of party that's good for all ages. It's good for kids and adults alike. For kids, they get to play chef, put things together, bake a pizza themselves, maybe feel a little bit grown up. And for adults, you get to be super creative with your food and just kind of let your imagination run wild. So it's great for all ages. Secondly, completely make ahead friendly. So all the preparation can be done before the actual event or party. And that kind of leads into the last reason it's so host friendly, because you can do all the preparation. You as a host can just enjoy the experience, be in the kitchen with your guests putting things together, but the pressure and the hosting responsibilities is a lot easier. So let's talk about this. Okay, so as I said, the foundation of the pizza is with a simple tortilla. So probably the key secret element of preparation is you want to pre-toast your tortillas just a little bit. So when we get ready to actually bake the pizzas, we're gonna bake them at 425. And the nice thing is you only have to bake them for about 4 or 5 minutes. But when you're doing your setup, you're gonna want to pre-bake your tortillas. I did mine for about 1 minute and 20 seconds on each side. So what that does is it just makes the tortilla nice and crisp and nice and firm, so that when we start to build our pizzas, they're a lot more stable. Pre-baking your tortillas is the first important step. Now, as you can imagine with pizza, there is a million variations. There are so many different ingredients that we can put on top of a pizza. This is a very small sampling of what you could do. So just keep that in mind. Also, depending on who your guests are, I mean, if you've got meat eaters in the family, then you might want to go heavy on the proteins. Maybe you have vegetarians, so you could do an all vegetarian option. If it's going to be primarily kids, you might want to stick to a more traditional type pizza, you know, pepperoni and cheese. Or if it's more adults, you might want to elevate it with a little bit more sophisticated ingredients. However you want to do it, there's no right or wrong answer. I am going to talk through a couple of things that I've done here just to give you inspiration and ideas for how you might want to do this. So obviously you're going to want to start with your sauces. So I've shown here just a basic traditional red tomato sauce. And then I'm using a white Alfredo sauce. So that gives you kind of like a savory option and then more of a smoother option. So we've got two sauces here. I love bell peppers for pizza. First of all, I love the color. I love the color variety. Something you want to keep in mind when you're preparing or selecting your ingredients, because of the size of the tortilla, you want to make sure everything is in small or fairly small proportions. You don't want big chunks of things because we don't have a lot of room on the tortilla. So when you're doing the bell peppers, you're going to want to slice those. I intentionally sliced these into long strips. I wanted to do that because that'll give us a little bit of variety in what's going on top. Most everything else here is kind of chunky or in small pieces. So the bell pepper in all the different colors is going to be longer strips. So that gives us a little bit more what I like to call visual texture. It just makes it look a little more interesting. So that's the bell pepper. As far as vegetables go, I love a roasted vegetable for pizza. So I did roasted yellow squash. So again, you're going to want to slice that into bite-sized pieces. Then just toss that into a skillet with a little bit of olive oil, sprinkle on some garlic salt, give it a little bit of flavor, and then you've got another awesome option for your vegetable topping. Another great option for pizza that I love is basil. So we've got basil as well. And then I selected mushrooms. We've got some black olives. We've got a little bit of green onion here. Obviously here we're in the Southwest. We also have a lot of Latino culture around, so we enjoy things with a little bit of spice. So we've also got sliced jalapenos, roasted green chili, and then a little bit of crushed red chili pepper. So those are some of our spicy options there. And obviously the cheeses are very important. So for what I'm doing here, I did a cheddar, a mozzarella, and a chèvre. So we have three options there. I love roasted yellow corn on pizza. Maybe not a traditional topping, but if you've ever had it, especially on a pizza with a red sauce, roasted yellow corn is so delicious. It's kind of a sweet contrast to the savoriness of a red sauce. So we've got our roasted corn. I have baby arugula. We have spinach. I also did pineapple and shrimp. So this kind of gives us options, maybe more on the adult side. One of my favorites, dates. So if you've ever had a pizza with a white sauce, and then you could do arugula, dates, and a little bit of mozzarella, really great combination. We also have shrimp and pineapple, so that gives us options there. Again, there are so many possibilities with pizza toppings. It's really up to your choice. But the most important thing is know who your guests are, know what you want the experience to be, and then select your toppings based on that. One of the things you can do in preparation is to go ahead and pre-cut some parchment paper circles. I used a dinner plate as the pattern, and then when each guest is making their pizza, then they'll have the parchment paper that they can put their tortilla on, and then that can go right into the oven. So you can go ahead and get those ready before the event. I'm going to put together a couple of pizzas just to give you a couple of ideas of what you can do. The first one's going to be very traditional. So we're going to start with our red sauce. So we'll put that on. We're going to add some pepperoni here. Also, because of the size, these are basically kind of single serving size pizzas. You want to make sure your ingredients are kind of to the right scale. So you don't want super thick pepperoni, and I actually cut these in half because it makes it a little bit easier for the size of the tortilla. So we've got our pepperoni, then we're gonna add a little bit of green onion, and then we'll finish with our cheddar. So this is ready to go in the oven. We're gonna put one more of these together and then we'll put them both in to bake. Okay, so this is a little bit different kind of pizza. It's gonna have a white sauce base, and then we're actually going to use arugula, dates, mozzarella, and a little bit of an agave drizzle. So super delicious, a little bit on the sweet side, but really surprising and delicious. These are the dates. So that's where a little bit of the sweetness comes from, also from the agave. And you don't want to go too heavy on the arugula, otherwise it'll make it overly bitter. So just, probably 5 or 6 sprigs of the arugula. Then we'll add our mozzarella. All right, once we have our mozzarella on, now we're gonna give it a little bit of a drizzle of agave. So if you don't have agave, you can also use honey. That's a great substitution if you don't have agave. All right, let's put these pizzas in the oven and create something delicious. And here's our second pizza. And as I mentioned, you bake them for 4 minutes at 425. So another thing that's really fun about doing this is they prepare so quickly. So you can have all the fun of putting them together and then a quick bake so that you're ready to eat. Oh, look. There wasn't room for all 8 pieces, so I guess I'll have to eat this one. So delicious. Thanks again for joining us today. Just remember, whether you're doing a special party, a birthday bash, or you're just trying to spruce up a weeknight dinner, hopefully we've given you some ideas of how you can take our idea for a tortilla pizza and make it your own. Our manifesto moment for today is, we believe that whimsy and wonder are the 2 secret ingredients to all gatherings. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.